Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zachary Nolan.
And my name's Carter Nolan.
And this is episode 24, I believe, of the Nolan Hockey Podcast.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's either 24 or I've miscounted and it's 25 and I've made a great error.
It's long overdue, too.
We've delayed this
2 to 3 weeks.
Which, honestly, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'd be like, uh-huh. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
delayed the Rebel Season 2 and the Battlefront review.
Well,
And the DLC we still have to do now,
Yeah.
but we can do it in the off season, so that's okay.
if you're a hockey fan and you watch our Jets game reactions,
We-
then you know why. And if you don't, check them out.
Because they're literally the best thing that, like, honestly, the video where we come
Yeah.
back in Game 3 in Round 1
it's some of our
is
best stuff.
on pace to become our most viewed video, and that's good.
Thanks
because
to you.
Yes, thanks to you.
If you
Thank
haven't,
you very much.
please hit the like button because
Yes.
it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And yeah.
Yeah.
So let's,
Oh, yeah,
let's
and
get
if you're
into
new to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe, because we really do appreciate it, because we love hearing everyone's opinions on various topics, and honestly, we're really close to 500, and that just,
We're inching
it's
on
just
it.
nice. It's just really nice.
So what are we talking about today?
So for a couple minutes, we have decided that we should cover the third round, and guess what, Carter? It's not 3 a.m. It's a decent,
Oh my god.
it's a decent
Is it like
human time.
noon?
Yes, it's 12:44, which honestly is the closest we'll get to noon given our sleep schedules.
Yeah.
So, who did you have coming out of your division? First off, let's make this.
I
quick.
had Toronto,
Wow.
Colorado,
Yep.
Carolina,
Yep.
and Washington.
Okay, what did I have? I had Toronto, Florida, Colorado, and Washington. Trombone noises.
Yeah, not one of those. I had
So-
Carolina winning the cup.
If we're looking at, yeah, so now the matchups are Vegas after defeating the Minnesota Wild and Colorado Avalanche in 7 and 6 games respectively will go up against the Montreal Canadiens, who defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs and Winnipeg Jets in 7 and 4 games.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm going to say is that Vegas, I had them losing to Minnesota because I thought maybe Minnesota if they
Yeah,
really
like
got
it
riled
was on a
up.
team on the rise. Yes.
Yeah, however, Colorado? They beat Colorado?
Colorado is interesting because Colorado. We're not gonna.
I
harp
feel
too
like
much on this, but-
they're becoming like the Tampa Bay Lightning of a few years ago in the sense
or the
that
Washington Capitals.
or Washington in the sense of where they have everything, but when are they finally gonna get that run? You know what I mean?
You know what the problem is with Colorado? I like Philip Grubauer.
Not a Vezina goalie.
He's not a Vezina goalie, and
People
honestly,
say he is. I don't think
he
so.
wasn't that great. And like looking at that series, looking back at that series, there's a viable argument that the only reason that Colorado wins Game 1, especially so decisively, is because they put Leonard in net, which I like. I really do like Robin Leonard. He's an amazing human being, but he was just so cold after not playing for a month. It showed.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's happens when you don't
like,
play for a month.
Here's the thing. The only reason...
Even 9 days can make you just stop playing hockey.
The only way I see Robin Leonard playing in net...
You didn't pick up on that, did you?
Yes, sorry. The only reason I see the way I see Robin Leonard playing net is either through Fleury getting pulled, or if for some reason the Knights get a 3-0 lead, because then statistically speaking, even if they lose the next game, it's still like mathematically nearly impossible for the Habs to come back. I'm not saying it's not, because they came back from a 3-1 lead, but maybe if you feel you need to give Leonard at least some time,
Yep.
put him in on that Game 4 game.
Yeah.
And then, like, because the Vegas is heavy favorites in this matchup, mostly because of the skill of the guys they've beaten, compared to Montreal, who's had to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, who, despite a lot of talent, just don't seem to be able to ever...
It doesn't.
It's
mesh
Charlie Brown with the football,
It doesn't
yeah.
mesh properly, I find.
It's weird, because I actually liked a lot of the moves they made, because... Yes, they lost a lot of guys in their middle six type thing. Like, they had to let go of Janssen and Kapanen, two guys who actually do quite a decent amount of the load. But they were able to add grit, and they didn't really lose a lot on their offensive edge, especially with Spezza playing better in this season. And
So,
then bounce back. Then, moving on to the second round.
Oh,
like,
you want
I just want to touch, because we have a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah. The Habs were able to... First off, inject youth into the lineup that really really killed against team like the Leafs, and then Price, of course, doesn't need any introduction. And then in the second round, they just perfected that against a team that was a little top heavy in the Winnipeg Jets, because without Mark Scheifele and without Mark Scheifele, DeMello, and then for a couple games Paul Stastny, the Jets don't have as many dynamic options to go to, and Montreal just rolled 4 lines. And
yep, and I feel, and the thing about Montreal that is that like their defensive play is just like is damn good.
For the longest time, Joel Edmondson hadn't been on the ice for a single goal against.
It's damn good, but the thing is that it's good to the point where Price just needs to play decent, and they can sneak through with a victory. So having the defensive skill that they have and Carey Price on top of that, I feel like they have an actual chance at beating Vegas.
So
they have to like shut down everything. Nothing comes through.
What's your predictions?
As much as I think Montreal would be able to do something like that, I will take Vegas in 6 games.
You take Vegas in 6? It's funny. I think it really depends on. It will really depend on how Game 1 and 2 go.
Oh,
because if Vegas sweeps Game 1 and 2 in Vegas, because for Montreal to win this series, they not only need to win at home, they need to win in Vegas, in front of a packed crowd, which is a wild card for the Northern Division, because they haven't played in front of any full capacity fans
or anything even
almost
close to
2 years, I think. And yes, these are professional players who are totally able to play in those situations on a regular basis normally. But here's my question. How much does communication take into account when you can't hear anything? Like when you can't hear, yes, you can still hear because the plexiglass actually blocks out a decent bit, but it's a lot harder to communicate passing options.
That will literally screw up plays in football.
Yeah.
it'll kill a play.
Yeah, like the Bombers do. But that's the thing.
Now here's what I will say.
Actually, let's finish this up and then we'll move to the second one, okay?
Okay.
So, what do you have? So you have
who do
you have
have?
Montreal. You have Vegas in 6.
I have Vegas in 6.
I want to see Montreal win this series because, come on, it's against Vegas. Who doesn't want to see Vegas lose? Yeah. But I will say Vegas I think this could go 7. I think it could. I don't know how.
I think it totally could too.
I don't know how. My mind is saying
You know what the key thing here is?
Carey Price.
No. What if Vegas scores first? Montreal then can't sit back and play their defensive game.
That's true.
If Vegas scores first, Montreal's screwed. I'm just saying it now. If they score first in the game,
they'll show a new level of resilience. Can we move to the East and Central? Okay. So now we have a rematch of last year. The Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New York Islanders. The Tampa Bay Lightning defeated Florida Panthers in 6 games. Sad noises. And the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 to make it here. And the New York Islanders defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. And then the Boston Bruins in 6 games. Yeah. And it's been an interesting road here.
I like this Islanders team.
I do too.
This Islanders team.
I do too, but it's funny. This Islanders team is something that they've had to. The Islanders have been able to stay pretty solid with their team because how their team is coached is what really brings us over the edge. But that's not to undersell what the value of this team is. Like Anthony Beauvillier is one of the most underrated guys in terms of forward scoring that you'll see. And Barzal carries. Like, Barzal is a guy who, honestly, I don't know how his point totals reflect, but he's a guy that is dynamic enough to elevate an entire team because of how his play individually, and that's something that a lot of teams, like even teams in the North, lacked this year. It's funny.
Now, obviously, he's not on the same scale as Matthew Barzal, but that's even why, that's why I'd like to re-sign Stastny.
Yeah, possibly.
Stastny makes the players around him play better.
Yeah, a little, okay.
Well, not nearly as much as Barzal.
So, and then also for Tampa, we have Kucherov having an amazing postseason. He's leading the team points. we're not gonna get into the
$100
cap
million
things.
in cap.
We're not getting into the cap things because honestly, you know it, we know it. It's not something we can change right now. We can have this discussion at a later time.
Yeah.
In the middle of a playoff series.
Who's winning?
Not. Just wait. Let's just think about a couple things here. So, did the Lightning really need to make any pickups this year? Because they actually needed to shed a lot of talent.
Well, they picked a few players up LTIR. And,
Yes. So they had to shed a bunch of guys to pretty much keep the salary. They moved Volkov to Anaheim. He didn't really matter, but he got 1 point in the finals.
Maroon,
So,
right? Maroon moved.
No,
right?
no,
Is
Maroon's
still
here. They moved Paquette. He went to Ottawa, and then he went to Carolina. And then the biggest loss, I would say, this season was they moved Carter Verhaeghe, who then had an amazing year with the Florida Panthers. Despite that, they've been able to bring in a lot of guys that have pretty much just kept it solid. Like, there's obviously their top six. Palat, Point, Killorn is good in the playoffs. Colton, as I said. There's another one I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But, like, Sorelli's no slouch. They're just good.
They got it all. They got
Islanders.
the offense. They got the defense. They got the goaltending.
Islanders brought in Palmieri and Zajac. Both have done very well. Palmieri especially.
Yep, strengthened up their middle a bit.
So like, this series is interesting because I would say this is a better Islanders team.
Go either way
the only thing the Islanders lost was Devon Taves, but they've been able to withstand that. Like, I could go either way with this. I want the Islanders to win, even though I'm aware that this would be... Then we could get a stereotypical boring finals between, like, a Montreal and Islanders. But I just like the idea of this Islanders team. Because this Islanders team, every year we say the Islanders will lose in the first round. And the Islanders have then... Under Barry Trotz, the Islanders have lost in the second round to Carolina. After sweeping the Penguins. So it was kind of one of those things, and then got swept by Carolina. Yeah. The Islanders then have made the third round from the play-ins as well, beating Florida, Washington, and Philadelphia before losing to Tampa Bay. I feel like this is the year that they can make that last step.
It's so tough. Like, honestly, I feel like this... No matter who I pick,
like
I'm 50-50.
If you match up the guys,
it's going
funny.
to 7.
Yeah, if you match up the guys, like person to person, it should be Tampa. But something just tells me that
shutdown. Like the thing about the Islanders and the Canadiens is that
this matchup is very similar to the other matchup. But honestly, I feel that the Islanders are just a better version of the Canadiens in terms of being able to control.
Manitoba boy, Barry Trotz.
Yeah, and Manitoba boy, Travis Zajac, and Manitoba boy. It's either Pellick or Pollock. I forgot. One of those two is Manitoba.
I have a signed Travis Zajac.
I forget that. Oh, that's money.
Get a hockey cap here.
Yeah. So, what's our pick? I would say Islanders in 7. But that's also too just what we want to see happen. Because honestly, I don't want to see a repeat of Cup Champions. We had that a couple years ago.
I'm gonna say it now. Whoever wins the series wins the Stanley Cup.
Okay, ballsy prediction. But yeah, so that's pretty much just a couple of our thoughts on that before the Islanders Tampa game starts. What are your thoughts? Who do you think makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals? Who do you want to see go to the Stanley Cup Finals? Who do you think may surprise us, or at least surprised you in this postseason? Let us know in the comments, because we do answer literally all of them. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, subscribe if you're new, like we said, and leave a like on this video to, just be nice. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.